I sitting in that chamber as the articles were read by the House managers, you couldn't help but be struck by the gravity of the moment. And I do think that the people that are in this room, oftentimes it is easy to get sort of caught up in the 24-hour news cycle, and there's always something happening, and there's always something new, and things shift pretty quickly. But I think it is appropriate for us to take a step back and recognize how significant this is. Our Constitution set up a process by which office holders like Secretary Mayorkas could actually be held accountable for violating the law and the Constitution. For me, listening to that and reading along, and my hope is to hear further evidence, a lot of court cases were cited. I happen to be the Attorney General that brought those court cases, challenging the Biden administration and how they were handling the situation at the border. The court's remedy, of course, was to either uphold what they were doing or strike it down. We have a different remedy, and it is up to the Senate to decide that. There's no sidestepping it. We've dealt with significant issues over 240 years plus in this country. Never once has the United States Senate said we're not going to do that because we don't like the news cycle. We don't like the narrative. We've got a couple people who are up who are vulnerable in an election cycle. There are things that when we raise our right hand and take the oath, take precedence over a lot of the stuff that we typically do, which is why we're moving to an impeachment calendar. And I suppose I'll close with this. To Chuck Schumer himself, you still have time to do the right thing. You still have time to do what has always been done, which is to actually hold a trial. If you don't, and you go down this path, I think you will earn your place in the pantheon of one of the worst senators to ever serve in this chamber. And you can pick who a couple of them might be, but Chuck Schumer, after this week, if he does what I think he's going to do, certainly belongs in that category. Chuck Schumer spends a lot of time on the Senate floor talking about extremists and threats to democracy. I think he's found the enemy, and the enemy is him. Like, literally, I don't think we should lose sight of how extreme this really is in our constitutional order. It's never been done. Never. 240 years, never been done. And so, not only is he a terrible floor leader, I actually believe that if he moves forward with this, he will go down in history as one of the worst United States senators ever to serve. And by the way, he may regret this a lot sooner than he thinks.